Hey guys, Austin here, and welcome to the day after the Oilers' 6-3 victory over the Arizona Coyotes. If you are new here or if you're unfamiliar with what the day after is, it is an episodic series where I basically sit down in front of the camera. I have a formal discussion with you, the fans, and I talk about the previous night's game between the Oilers and their opponent, what the result was, and I usually elaborate on different talking points that I might have brought up during the post-game debrief, but I don't elaborate on during those debriefs. I like to, create a longer or better discussion or dialogue in the day after episodes. Now, these are videos that you can have on in the background. You can grab some coffee. You can just relax. These are very formal, relaxing, chill videos. I don't get too worked up, too emotional. I usually present a lot of questions to you guys as well. I do read every comment. I love to hear your guys' thoughts. And let's kind of jump right into it. So my first talking point after the 6-3 win is Edmonton's second period struggles. Edmonton has been bleeding goals against in the second periods lately, and I'm not sure why, because they have been playing better in the first periods of games, but once that second period hits, they are really struggling at generating offense. I don't know if it's the long change. I don't know if it's a combination of the long change and the line juggling that Chris Knobloch has been doing, and the team just kind of gets discombobulated a little bit. Not sure what's going on with second periods in general. Usually the second periods were pretty good for Edmonton earlier in the year, but since the All-Star break, it's not been good. It has been very bad. All the good that Edmonton did in the first period, coming out with a 2-1 lead, heading into the second, it was like against St. Louis as well. They had a good first period. They really pushed the issue, and then the second period hits, they bleed 2 or 3 goals, then they're behind, and then they have to have a third period comeback just to come back and win a game and snag 2 points. Now, I'm still very happy that the team manages to find a way to just flip that extra gear in the third period, but this is a worrying trend. I don't know how sustainable this can be, especially in the playoffs. If you are down going to the third period in the playoffs, your chances of winning are very, very small. And Edmonton right now, they are down heading to the third period. It seems like a lot, and they do have to fight their way to win games. They are winning games, which is good, but second periods are bad. What are you guys' thoughts on Edmonton's second periods right now? What do you think is going on between the first intermission and second period? Obviously, you have to give credit to your opponent. Teams are making adjustments. We understand that happens, but as a coaching staff and as players, you should be prepared for the adjustments that are being made and also have your own adjustments to counterattack. But that's just me. It's a lot easier for me watching and sitting in my chair or on my couch, being able to make that, super obvious determination that, just be better prepared. Great argument, Austin. But I am curious to know your guys' thoughts. My next talking point is the penalty kill struggles. Now, in the last 20 penalties that Edmonton has taken, they've given up 10 goals against on the penalty kill. Janmark, Brown, Ryan, Nuge, McLeod. Those are usually your main 5 forwards that are out there during the kills. Every now and then you'll see Draisaitl out there. Sometimes you will see McDavid get a shift on the penalty kill. And then your defensive pairs that you usually have on the kill are Nurse, CC, and then you usually have Ekholm and Desharnais. I think I could be wrong on that. But the penalty kill has struggled a lot, and it's not just one unit. It's not like you can point at just one specific penalty kill unit and go, yep, they're the problem. Every single penalty kill unit is being scored on, whether Connor Brown is on the ice, Matthias Janmark is on the ice, whether it's Nuge or Ryan or whoever, whether it's Nurse or CC, it doesn't matter. The team is bleeding high danger chances against on the penalty kill at a much higher rate than they were during their 16-game win streak. But I do think that this is going to start to regress back to normal. During the 16-game win streak, the Oilers at one point killed 40 of 41 penalties. Now, I don't think Edmonton's penalty kill is that good, but I don't think they're as bad as a 50% kill rate as what they have been over the last several games since the All-Star break. So what I'm thinking is going to happen here, the penalty kill, it will sort itself out. I just think some of it's bad luck. Some of it is just not quite attention to detail. But I am curious what your guys' thoughts are on the Oilers' penalty kill lately, why it seems to be giving up at least one goal minimum every single game right now. It has been a momentum changer for opponents, and it was a momentum shifter for the Oilers for quite a while here. So once this penalty kill gets going, and once the power play also continues to get going, Edmonton, I think, is going to be just fine in terms of their overall play. They still tend to dominate teams at 5-on-5, but the special teams, especially that penalty kill lately, not been good. I don't know. That's pretty much all I have on the penalty kill right now. I don't know how you change it up. I don't know if you make a trade for not a penalty kill specialist, but a skilled forward that can also play on the penalty kill. I don't know if you need a different look. Maybe you need different players on there. I'm not sure if the penalty kill can go 40 for 41 in a positive way. I think they have the right personnel. I think it just comes down to being in the right position, getting a save when when you need one. Skinner and Pickard both have been playing okay, not great. So I think it's kind of a combination of all those things. Now, my next talking point here is Chris Knobloch and his line shuffling lately. So the line shuffling going into the third period against Arizona was good. He split up Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and that is great. I think he should be doing that more often. Those two need to be on separate lines because when they are on the same line, if a team shuts down that top line with McDavid and Draisaitl together, well, the second line with Nuge and Kane and Hyman, they don't seem to generate a whole lot together. And then the third line with McLeod and Foegele, they haven't been generating together. And then the fourth line just doesn't generate anything. It doesn't matter who is on the fourth line, whether it's Ryan, Brown, Holloway, Gagne, that fourth line ain't doing anything. So Knobloch splitting Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl for the third period against Arizona was a good move. Putting Ryan McLeod back with Leon Draisaitl was terrific. McLeod, Draisaitl, and Foegele were lights out when they were together. That is a really good line. I know he had Evander Kane on that line instead of Warren Foegele, and Kane had 2 goals, which was awesome. The top line, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, they chipped in with a goal. So that is really good to see. But I wanted to bring this up because Chris Knobloch, he was very hesitant to change his lines at all during the 16-game win streak. But since that loss to Vegas, he is just, the line shuffling has been all over the place. He has had guys all up and down the lineup at various parts of games. And I know for a little bit, I think it was just trying to get certain guys going. McLeod and Foegele got some shifts with McDavid recently. Connor Brown got a shift with McDavid the other night before he was healthy scratched against Arizona. I get it. As a coach, you're trying to push certain buttons, but stick with the lines that were very successful for you. And I'm glad that he seemed to acknowledge that against Arizona. He went back to lines and pairs that work really well together in that third period. And the team in front, or the team on the ice, they responded positively as well. The team came out, they played hard, they fought back, they scored 4 goals in the third, and that's a credit to the players too. They understood Chris Knobloch's messaging, and they went out and they got the job done, which is perfect. And hopefully for Chris Knobloch, there's no more of this, let's load up Leon and Connor together for an extended period of time. Those two should only be put together after a penalty kill to take advantage of a third or fourth line shift from your opponent. And then they should also only be put together if you're down a goal and you have the net pulled and you're trying to tie the game, or if it's a shift in the third period and you're just looking for a quick spark of offense. But long-term, Draisaitl, McDavid, keep them separated. And that top line of Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Hyman, keep that line together just for the rest of the season. It's one of the best lines at 5-on-5 in generating expected goals. The expected goals against are really, really positive when they are on the ice. Keep them together. Just no more line shuffling, no more line juggling. Chris Knobloch, please and thank you. The next thing I want to talk about was the goaltending for the Oilers. Now, Calvin Pickard, he played good, not great, against the Dallas Stars. Gave us a chance to win. Edmonton won in overtime. Perfect. And Stuart Skinner, he has been good, not great since the All-Star break. His play has obviously regressed from what it was during his big win streak. And I've mentioned this in previous videos. Nobody in oil country should have been expecting Stuart Skinner to continue to ride a 1.2 goals against average, a .950 save percentage, and a 20 goals save above expected pace for the rest of the season. Makes no sense. Not many goalies can do that. Not even prime Dominik Hasek would do that. Skinner went on a heater. The team went on a heater. Skinner's game has regressed a little bit, but he's still playing well enough to give the team a chance to win. Would he have liked a couple of those goals back, especially one of Bjugstad's snipes? Yes, of course. But the fan reaction to Pickard and Skinner, I think, has been a little bit overblown. I'm still very confident in both of them. However, in saying that, I am not against an upgrade for the playoffs in case Skinner's game falls apart, because I'm not sure if you would want to trust Calvin Pickard to be the guy in a playoff series if for some reason he had to be the guy. Injuries can happen. You just never know, right? Is Calvin Pickard someone that you think could win you a playoff series? Maybe. I mean, if you're very optimistic, sure. But right now, the goalies, they're playing good enough. Again, you'd like to see a couple more saves here and there, but I don't think that the goaltending has been as bad as some fans make it out to be. And I don't think it's been as good as other fans seem to make it out to be as well. I think what's happening right now is the amount of goals that they're giving up on the penalty kill. It's kind of inflating that goals against per game right now, because the penalty kill had been so good. And that is a huge difference between the 2 goals against or 3 goals against in a game when you're giving up 1 or 2 power play goals every single game. So I think that's kind of the big difference right now. I'm okay with Skinner as the starter. Lots of confidence in him. Calvin Pickard, he's a fine backup. He is what he is. He's been asked to be the backup. He got sprung into that position when Jack Campbell turned into Swiss cheese in October, and I think he's performed admirably. He's won 6 in a row, and Stuart Skinner has obviously been on a pretty good run himself. So I think the goaltending right now, it's fine. Can we upgrade? Sure, but that's a totally different conversation. And speaking of team needs, if we want to do some upgrades, let's talk about where the team needs to make upgrades. Now, in my opinion, and this is in order of importance to me, a top 4 right defenseman, and then a top 6 right wing scoring forward, and then maybe a 4th line center. Because right now, the 4th line, it doesn't matter who's on it. It's not really doing anything. Sam Gagner, earlier in the season, he was playing very hot. It seemed like anytime he was out on the ice, he was helping produce things. But Sam Gagner at 6 minutes a night on the 4th line, it doesn't help. Connor Brown has 0 goals in 40 whatever games. Matthias Janmark seems to be a lot better on a 3rd line with more skilled players that can drive play. When you have Janmark and Derek Ryan and Connor Brown together, it's just a nothing line to me. So if you wanted to give Derek Ryan some rest because he is 37 or 38, if you're not sure about the age issue, maybe a 4th line center as well. But overall, the team in general would benefit greatly from another scoring winger for the top 6 and a top 4 defenseman for the right side. Although I will mention, and I'm going to give lots of credit here, Cody Ceci's game has been very, very good since I made this video. I made a video called the Cody Ceci Conundrum. It was after the game against Vegas, and pretty much since then, Cody Ceci's metrics have been very positive, and he's actually played some pretty good hockey. So I do want to give a shout out to Cody Ceci, and I want to make sure fans that watch these videos know I don't hate Cody Ceci. I don't hate any specific player. I am hard on more players than others, but that's because I'm passionate and I know there's more there. And I know that there should be a better option at this point. We've known what Cody Ceci is for years. Him and Nurse have been exposed for 2 playoffs in a row. I don't want to see Nurse and Ceci get exposed for a 3rd straight playoff and have the Oilers out by round 2 again. That to me would be the definition of insanity. So that's why I am hard on guys like Ceci. I'm hard on guys like Brown, who have 0 goals in 43 games. I am hard on guys like Matthias Janmark. Sometimes they play that quiet game. They play a nothing game. For me as a fan, that's frustrating. I want to see that puck going in the net and being driven in the other direction, and instead of just basic, boring hockey or nothing hockey, as I like to call it. Speaking of the 4th line and certain players, Connor Brown. What are we doing with Connor Brown now? He was healthy scratched against Arizona. I felt the 4th line actually played very well without him. I don't know. I don't know what you do with Connor Brown anymore. Do you just keep him in the press box? Do you throw him on waivers and risk him being taken? And then maybe call up Raph Lavoie? Curious to know your guys' thoughts. I won't spend too much time on Connor Brown. We all know my thoughts on him. And at this point in oil country, that horse has been beaten to death. Next player that I want to talk about quick here is Sam Gagner. So he had a great story when he came back into Edmonton. He had to earn his place on the team through a tryout. He signed a contract. He scored 2 goals against Dallas in his first game back. He had 5 goals and 5 assists in his first 20-ish games, I think, played. But since then, he hasn't produced anything. He's usually a healthy scratch more nights than he's not. However, when he is in the lineup, the last 7 games he's been in the lineup, Edmonton is 7-0. Obviously, there's a lot more going on than just one player. But is Sam Gagner a good story that's kind of coming to an end? And do you want to see an upgrade on Gagner? Do you think it's fair to keep healthy scratching him? Do you think he plays well enough to stay in the lineup? I'm very curious to know your thoughts. We all love Sam Gagner, even the Sam Gagner like naysayers. You guys still like Gagner too. Sam Gagner, he's my favorite player on the team other than Leon Draisaitl. So if he were to be a healthy scratch in the playoffs for someone that is better, more skilled, a little bit quicker on their feet, and can put the puck in the net a little bit more often, I'm not against that. So I do want to know what your guys' thoughts are on Sam Gagner, because I don't think he has a whole lot of trust in the coaching staff right now, because he is a healthy scratch a ton. So I am curious what you guys think about that. Now, next up, before I end this video, the Oilers play Boston on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, for those of you who follow the channel or who follow me on Twitter or any social media, you will know that I am also a Bruins fan. Now, I don't talk a whole lot about the Bruins when I'm doing videos because this is a mostly Oilers-focused channel. But I do like Boston, and I am very excited for this matchup. Tried to get tickets to the game. Didn't work out. That's totally fine. I got to see them last year, and it was such a blast. But I love Bruins and Oilers games, and I just wanted to mention that because as a fan, I love that matchup. I think this is going to be a good measuring stick test for the Oilers against a top-tier team in the NHL, although the Bruins analytically have a lot more to be desired as a team going into the playoffs. As a partial Bruins fan, I'm very worried about that team heading towards the playoffs. They've been struggling recently. They did beat Dallas in a shootout last night, so we will see how Edmonton can do against Boston. Are you guys excited for the Bruins game? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, if you like these day after segments, if you like these formal discussions where we just get to sit down and hang out, make sure you hit that like button. And if you really like them, make sure you hit subscribe. I love making these videos, and just general comments too of the channel, things you want to see improved, things you want to see me talk about or add to the channel. Let me know. I read all of your comments, I promise. And yeah, we'll go from there. My next video will be tomorrow morning. It will be our pregame report for the Oilers and Bruins, and we'll go from there. As always, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.